How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another brand new YouTube video. Listen, I've now built what is projected very strongly to be a seven-figure business in less than 3 months at about a 45% profit, maybe 50% profit. And I did that without really taking on any coaching hours. So I built a coaching business without any coaching hours. Now, how did I do this? And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. It's a really exciting topic for me because personally, at the stage of life that I'm in, as much as I love client work, I really just want to be able to just zone out and be with my family. I want to be able to just turn off the entrepreneurial, lights and just hang out with my family. And I know that I definitely could be making more money if I was a bit more hungry and on fire for it. But, at this point, it's so natural to me. Like yesterday, I'll just show you this. I prepared this. Yesterday, we brought in, you can see, and I blocked off their name and email, obviously, but you can see my brother, who's training as a sales rep, brought in 3,800 and then 2,000. So 4,800 plus 3,800, whatever that is, total revenue, and then 5,800 in total actual cash paid sales for our brand new coaching offer, which I've been documenting growing on this channel. But the more important aspect of this is that I've built a business where I'm not needed in the coaching end of things, which if you run a coaching business, you know that that's by far the most taxing part of the business on your energy. And I love coaching, don't get me wrong. I love teaching. I love training. But I realized something when I tried to scale my previous business to $250,000 a month, $500,000 a month with paid advertising and a big sales team and everything. And that's that paid advertising and a big sales team works like gangbusters, but it's very, very hard to be the owner and the coach. It's very, very, very difficult. So when I designed this new business, I had that in mind. So how did I structure this? Well, essentially, it looks something like this. Let me go ahead and get like or I can just explain it. I was about to draw an org chart for you, but I can just explain it. So I run the business, and underneath me I have, really working alongside me, I have our head coach, who they actually are succeeding with the model that we teach. So they're actually better at teaching it than I am, by far. Like if it were me teaching it, we'd maybe get some results. But they're actually in the trenches doing it. Like right now, they're filming a 2-week sprint of them day by day, like a documentary style thing for our students, where they're actually going out and doing the model that we teach. For those of you who are curious, we teach what we call content connecting, which is doing content services for small businesses, but particularly short form content services for personal brands or individuals or figures. And it's just a great way to make some money. Our head coach earns anywhere from 12 to 15 grand a month profit after expenses with it, and just kind of chills, And so, when my previous business kind of started to wind down a little bit, and I kind of just took some time, I was like, look, I want to figure out what this next thing is. And I realized I don't want to be on group calls all the time and be running the business. I love being on group calls but I love running businesses, but doing both, especially when you have a kid, if you have a kid, you understand, your energy just changes. It's just not going to work. It's just not sustainable. There's no way that I could make that work if I want to be in my son's life, honestly. And so basically that's what I did, is I just brought in a head coach. And I could make this video way longer, but I just think there's this idea that you have to do everything in your business. And I'm really here to tell you, the more control you surrender, the further you can go. This business that I've built, it should be a 70 to 100 grand a month profit business this year. Very easily it'll do that, probably more. And I'm not really doing anything in there that I don't like doing. I like the marketing, sales, and customer acquisition end of things. And then I like teaching the marketing, sales, and customer acquisition end of things for coaches, which is what I do in my other business, the Kaizen Mastermind. And so I've built a business around my strengths. So I think you need to go through a season where you do everything, and then you figure out what you're good at and what you really like, and then you just build a business that is actually everything that you like doing, because this idea of just grit and doing the work even when you don't feel like it and stuff, to me, you're just going to burn out. You're not going to like your life. And it's really important that you actually like what you're working on and that you actually enjoy it, because even if you're making a lot of money, you're not going to sustain the trajectory that you're on. And if I could go back to when I was like 19, 20, 21, I wouldn't really change any of that, by the way. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, don't take sales calls. Don't, do group coaching. I think I needed to have that. Like, I needed to have 100 clients on a Zoom room and where I'm teaching them, and they've all paid me anywhere from 5 to 10 grand. I needed to have those experiences. I needed to take 2,000 or 3,000 sales calls and learn from those experiences. In order to, be as sharp as I am today, to where I can throw together a business like I can. So the real, asset you build over time is just all the lessons, and then figuring out what you're good at and placing yourself within your business where you most like to be. We've probably had maybe 3 team meetings for this business. There have been great team meetings, but not very many at all. Not a lot of communication between me and the team. Everybody kind of knows what they got to do. And it's just very everybody knows what they got to do. It's a great business because it's a great offer, because it's a great angle, and it's a great market. So really, at the top of my org chart is the market and what they want, right? And then beneath that is me. And I just have to channel that. I have to connect what the market wants with a team that cares. And that's essentially what your job becomes, is just connecting what the market wants with a team that cares. My brother, if you noticed when I shared my screen, that was Zane Cockrum. That's my brother. He came into the business with very little sales experience in this context, never sold a coaching program before. And just because of the environment that he's in and how great of an offer it is and how simple it is to sell, as well as the other closer who was willing to, teach and train him, because that's just our company culture, he was able to ramp up within, a couple days of taking calls. He's now at that point. And so I just think you need to understand, you don't have to do everything, you just don't. You frankly, a lot of business owners are extreme perfectionists, and perfectionism is probably the enemy of progress. Really, it convinces you that you need to do all these little details in order to just make money and grow, and you really don't. You need a source of traffic and a source of leads, a way of turning those leads into consults, and a way of turning those consults into sales, and a way of delivering for those buyers. Whether you do those things or not doesn't really matter. The things that I do in the business right now is I basically run the ads, but that takes maybe an hour or 2 a week, maybe. And then I just kind of communicate with the team a little bit in the channels. Sometimes they need a little help. Like yesterday, my brother needed the contract sent to a client quickly. So I was like, oh, I'll just send it right now. So just kind of being available to help out. But again, that won't happen moving forward because he's learned how to do that himself now. You know what I mean? So it's just stuff like that, like being involved with the team, running the ads. And then it's checking on my head coach and looking at the weekly reports that our students submit to show us kind of how they're doing, to make sure that they're actually, getting results and making progress within the product. And if I do that, it's going to grow because I have a referral thing with my team where they can refer in talent. And if we keep them and acquire them, then they get a little bonus. So my team naturally just replicates out. And I don't have to really worry so much about finding great talent. They'll kind of find it for me. So, you guys, I just feel like it's kind of crazy. I feel like I've really turned a massive corner in my life where hustle just doesn't equal money at all. Actually, it equals the opposite. I've gotten off caffeine, and wow, my conscious the way that I move is so different. I'm so much more relaxed, and I'm more aware of what I'm doing. And it's just not hard. Once you learn how to run ads and marketing, once you learn sales, once you learn how to build a good product and deliver a good experience, and you learn basic team and organizational structure, you can pretty much do whatever you want. I mean, you can make as much money as you want, basically. So yeah, I don't even know what this video is about, to be completely honest with you. I just wanted to talk about this idea that you need to be on all the time is just such a lie, and it's just it's just draining. I don't want to have a business that's draining. I think a lot of coaches burn out, not because they're coaching, because they're coaching and running a business. I think you can do one or the other. You know what I mean? I think it's great if you love coaching, and I do too. That's what the Kaizen Mastermind group. I make these videos, and people will book calls in the description. It's usually people who have coaching businesses that they want to grow. And I don't have to really do much. I mean, they know that I have the results, they know that I can help them, and they want to get started. And it's just really simple like that. It's just doesn't, it's very simple, because I have designed a business where I am doing what I'm absolutely best at, which is basically one thing, and that's designing client acquisition and delivery structures for coaching businesses and building teams within coaching businesses. Those are the things that that's what I can do best, basically. I'm talking sales teams mostly, setters, closers, and then delivery people, coaches, their structure, their comp structure, how to lead that, how to set that up in Slack, the operations behind all of that, all those things. That's what I'm best at. And so I get to practice that in this new business, and I don't have to be the coach, which is probably the most draining thing. And then in my other business, the Kaizen Mastermind group, I hardly have to step outside of that. So find what you're best at and build your business around it. Don't you wear a lot of hats for a season, for a short season. Figure out how they work. Don't be ignorant necessarily, but don't convince yourself that you need to do everything in order to win. Frankly, that's the exact opposite. You need to be very good at a few specific things in order to win. If you're really, really good at a few specific things and you understand the rest, you're not ignorant to the rest, but you understand it, you know how to delegate it so that others can do it. Like, for example, I have a virtual assistant who fills out all of our marketing tracking sheets, handles all of our team commission. I don't have to think about that. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to have to think about that. Just put yourself where you're best. I'm best with ads, funnels, content, marketing, communicating to cold traffic, new people, and I'm best at building teams, building great cultures. Like everybody who's worked for me, frankly, almost everybody that's worked for me has gone on to do something really, really cool. And that's just because I think that they learn a lot from the simplicity of how I think. And it's not so much me, it's just the lessons that I've learned over time. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video about this. I don't necessarily know if there's any succinct point other than this is how I built $1 million a year business without having to coach at all. And without having to take, I think 20, maybe 25 sales calls, which might sound like a lot, but it's really not. You could do that in 4 days, maybe 5 days. And then I proved out that it can be sold, and I proved out the sales process, and then I gave it off. I haven't touched it since. And so, yeah, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment your thoughts down below. And if you have a coaching business that you want to get to 100 to 500 grand a month, maybe even $1 million a month, book a call with me in the description. I'll help you design your advertising, your sales systems, and your delivery so that it can scale. And I'm telling you, you'll only have to work like 2 to 4 hours a day, maybe, and your business will do everything. And that's really where you want to be. Is just a really cash flow business where you don't have to do that much. And that's where I've gotten to now. So hopefully you're enjoying these videos, and I'll see you in the next one.